Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of the show. We've got in the co-captain's chair once again, Mr. Kirk Manning. What's up, man?
Hey, how we doing, my friend?
Doing good. I am eagerly anticipating looking inside the cover at this issue of Vampirella that you got to show us today.
All right. And I got to admit, we've discussed this before. And I will warn people, like Vampirella to me is kind of like they're still producing Vampirella books, but I don't buy the new stuff. I hate to say it. I'm a little bit of a Vampirella snob. I believe in going to the classics. You go with the original Warren stuff. It's like 112 issue run, I believe, something like that. Before Harris bought it, and then it kind of took off. And we're going to go today with issue 45, which I love this cover. I love this picture. You're dealing with, and let me just pull it back a little bit. These hand painted covers are just amazing, and I gotta admit, unlike other books and stuff, this is a long read. This is not like, like you read a new comic book and you're done with it in like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. There's nothing. These magazines, you're talking an hour plus.
Yeah, you can sit and like you relax, get a scotch, kind of hang out. I even love the fact that they use all the space, even the back cover, you see. Yeah. And most of this is black and white, but and for those people who have never purchased a Warren book, for shame, but no, you should. They came with like a couple of stories in them, so you get like first page is basically you get your table of content, and you only get one Vampirella story. There were certain issues that were like all Vampirella issues. For issue 46 that comes after this, that was an all Vampirella issue. But this one starts with, they would open up, you get your letter page up front, which is kind of different than the comic books, because in the comic books, you get your letter page at the end, right? Yeah. But Warren put them up front. So you read all about what people thought of the previous issues, and then you jumped into the Vampirella book. Now I'm gonna tell you, look at that art.
Yeah.
I mean, I will warn you, is it a bit sexualized? Yeah. I mean, clothing, this was a thing. Clothing wardrobes were really not much. But look at that art, man.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You gotta love that. And you know what? These were all black and white. And I gotta say, this kind of story, I think horror books in particular, just to me, doing that whole, black and white deal. I don't know if I discussed it in one of the earlier episodes, but I bought one back issue of Vampirella one time. You can actually erase parts of this because it's all newsprint. So somebody erased it and did over. They spent time on it. I was impressed. They just did Vampirella naked through most of the book. I was like, man. So I was like, I give you credit for your dedication, but I'm like,
that's great stuff. Yeah, that's really good.
But you know what? I will say this: the one thing I find with the Vampirella, and I also love the fact too, like she's always like laying around, like you never see Superman laying around like that or Spider-Man. No. But I love too, like the different stuff. Like you see this. Where is that? Let me make sure I'm getting it. You see, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Which is over. I mean,
nice.
The art is just fantastic. But if you're not a Vampirella fan, but you do like just standard horror, and again, I keep going. This is still part of the Vampirella story, but the art is just, look at that art. I just love this stuff.
Yeah, it's high quality.
Yeah, but then you got like standard. They come in and then they'll do a bunch of other short horror stories in here. So
which are like, the Marvel or the DC horror anthology books, right? Like Where Monsters Dwell and Beware and all that sort of thing, which are great because you get a comic and you get probably 3 or 4 stories in there, all unrelated. So
yeah, and I gotta say, it was very, it's the 70s, so a lot of more experimental storytelling was going on. They would occasionally, like this issue does have a couple of, like, it's weird. Warren would do like a couple of pages or do a story in color. This one's got a weird like thing of, and it seems to be like tribute to kind of almost like a Janis Joplin character. It's kind of a weird thing. It's I hate to say it, I got to reread this because it's been a while since I flipped through it, but you also got like a monster thrown in it. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
And as I said, they would go back and then they jump back to, you know, something medieval, like you know, and you get this, like it's taking place in like Renaissance times or something.
Yep.
And what I like too is you could get away with stuff that wouldn't be seen in like Spider-Man or whatever. Like you get this guy, like, look, the guy's getting his head cut off.
It's like Conan. It's like Conan. Right?
Yeah. So you get all that, and I love that stuff. And but they'd also have, you know, then you get another story. As I said, these are all like, the art is fantastic, the stories are fantastic. You had all these guys working on this stuff, and the great part is, like, you know what, and here's another story. You can see the art. Look, I love all of the penciling work and shading. You don't really see that stuff, you know. And then the one part I like best about these things too is in the back of the Warren books is they'll sell you all this stuff that you can't get anymore. I hate to say, you don't send you $2 off, but you'll see like all sorts of things, like, you know, like Super 8 films of I Was a Teenage Werewolf that you could buy, and you know, reprints of old EC stuff. You know, and again, I love all this stuff, and especially like hands and feet that you could, monster hand and feet that you can buy. I'll be honest, I love this stuff. And as I said,
I want to buy that stuff today, man. Never mind the 70s.
Yeah, I know, right? But what I do love, and look at this one. I'd love to have gone to this. You can go to the 1975 famous Monsters, you know, convention. It was in New York City.
I was 9. I would have gone. Hey,
I was so in there. But just, I tell you, these books in particular, this was a little beat on. You can see there's wear and stuff, so you can get these for about $10. And as I said, for $10, you're really talking about an hour's worth of entertainment. You know, it's like, I think it's one of the best bangs for your buck you're going to get. And all great stuff.
How many of the original run? How many do you have of the original run?
I am probably closing in about half of them. I got half of them. My goal is at one point, and I'm hoping in a couple of years, is to get the complete run, or at least most of it, and then sit down and read all the Vampirella parts again. Because sometimes, because sometimes like you're reading and you're like, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and you're like, okay, but that's issue 25, and the next one I purchase is at some show is like 48, and then you're like, well, where are you? So to read it in continuity and all that would be nice.
I think that's what we all want to do at some point, right? Because I think that a lot too. Like, you know, when I get to the point where it's like, all right, I have all the issues of, you know, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Hulk, and whatever series I really like the most, and I got all the ones that I'm ever going to get, but throughout my life, I've read them all out of order so many times. I would like to, at some point, saying, I'm not buying any more comics. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go read series to series to series from start to finish of everything that I have in the order that it was meant to be read in. Because we never do that, right? It's very hard.
It is, because you do. You end up, you know, as I said, you buy one here, and it's all over the place.
Like
and sometimes you wait.
I'm filling holes in my collection, and I'm reading them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember the one that came before this, but I read it like 20 years ago. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I put it away. What I should be doing is grabbing that one and reading that with the one that I just got, but I never do that, because then you'd be here forever. And like, so yeah, one of these days I like this. That's a really good idea. Get all the ones you're going to get, and then just start from the beginning and read them all. But you can't really do that until you say, I am not buying any more, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that if that day ever comes, you know.
I don't know. It's crazy. So excellent. So Vampirella number 45, is that was the issue, right? Yeah.
Vampirella 45, sweet issue. Strongly recommend it. As I said, I recommend all these books, but I will warn you, it's kind of like I tell people all the time, it's like anything. If you start it, it's a slippery slope. You know, I always love those people like, well, I bought 2 of them and that was done. God bless if you can do that. I am not that guy. I'm like, crap, those are really good. I need to go back and get the rest.
Yeah, I think the next time that we go to a shop or a con, I'm gonna get a couple Vampirella, I'm gonna get a couple Creepy, a couple Eerie, and I'm just gonna start and see where it takes me. I know it's not gonna be a good idea, but
the one thing
I
I
can't
tell
hold
you,
off any longer, Kirk. I just can't do it.
no, it's bad. And I tell you, you know, I got actually an old Creepy over here too. You look at these covers and
They're
stuff.
amazing.
They are so awesome.
They're
And
amazing.
they're all like hand painted and stuff. Yeah, it's like a bowl of chips. You just next thing you know, you ate the whole bowl.
Horror junkies, man. It's terrible. It's just terrible. I'm telling you. So anyway, there you have another episode of Comic Book Users. Stay tuned. We're going to do another kind of inside the cover. We're going to switch over to Marvel's Curtis magazine series. So that'll be the next episode. I got a cool rampaging Hulk that we're going to show you. So Kirk and I'll be back for that. So please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. Also, make sure you hit that like button before you leave, and we'll see it in just a few for another episode of Comic Book Users. For Kirk, I am Pete. Have a good one, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.